Hello YouTube. Today we're going to take a look at the LK-290 by Lucas. This is a hardwire kit for a dash cam that supports battery discharge prevention when you're using it for parking mode, which means your camera will be receiving power and able to monitor your vehicle even when it's off. As long as you have a circuit in your car that you know is always on. You'll also need a switched circuit, accessory circuit in your vehicle. You'll need to wire this kit to both. So you need to identify in your car, first of all, a switched circuit for accessory power, and then one that's always on. And the always on one will be monitored by this wiring kit to make sure that your battery voltage doesn't drop below whichever level you set it to. And then if it drops below that level, it will kill power to your dash cam to prevent further battery discharge. I purchased this directly from LUKASstore.com, which ships from Korea. It took about 20 days to get to me in the States. It ships with US instructions, which are pretty well written. They must have known they were shipping it and included the English version. Here's the device. This is the B version of the device. That means that the out power that goes out to power your dash cam actually has just a plug like this to plug into your dash cam. So you need to make sure if you get the B version that your dash cam supports this male input. I have a Panorama G, also known as the Street Guardian SGZC12SG. I'm not sure why they changed that name. I think it's ridiculous. I would have just called it the Panorama G. But also work with Panorama S, Panorama 2S. These are really popular dash cams, as well as Lucas's own dash cam products. So I like the B version because it's just got this direct plug. Alternately, the A version of this device, instead of having just a direct plug to plug into your camera, actually goes out to a female cigarette lighter power port connector. So it supports any dash cam that has a cigarette lighter adapter or power port adapter. And then finally there's a C version of this device that has two of those cigarette port lighters in case you need to power multiple dash cams off of this same unit. So the point of this product is to hardwire the dash cam to your vehicle and also be able to sense the voltage of your battery when it's in parking mode so that your battery doesn't go below a certain level or completely discharge, preventing your car from starting, which would really stink. So the reason I selected this one is because it supports a pretty high battery voltage, 12.4 volts. That's what I set it to. You don't really want to deep cycle car batteries. They're not designed for that. So, I mean, you can set it to a lower voltage. In fact, most kits don't have a voltage setting as high as 12.4. They could be down to 11.9 and, you know, lower even, but that's going to send your battery too low and charge back up and too low and charge back up, potentially reducing the life of your car battery. So that's why I selected the Lucas. Plus they've got just a great reputation on the internet. The right angle plug direct wiring is pretty awesome, and you know, having to ship from Korea is 20 days. I think there are US sellers, but I wanted to make sure I got the latest model direct from the manufacturer. So this is what it looks like. On the side here we have a hard on-off switch. This is a bit confusing because even if it's in the off position, when your accessory wire is wired in, which means the wire that turns on with the ignition of your vehicle, this is still going to operate. All this on-off switch does is turns on or off the functionality of the always-on power, which they call the B+ connection. This is the always-on connector. So you need to identify an always-on circuit in your vehicle to wire this wire to. The red one is your accessory wire. This is going to be the switched one. And the accessory wire is going to give your dash cam power even if this switch is in the off position. So just something to know, you know, if you're going to be parking your vehicle in a garage or for a long period of time and you don't need that parking monitoring, just set this switch to off. And it will only operate when it receives accessory power, meaning your vehicle is on. And then the last wire is this that you ground. You need to have a ground, and most vehicles, if not all, will have a ground screw near the fuse box in the cabin. My vehicle has one both on the driver's side and the passenger side. And I've used a test light to identify a couple of different circuits in my car, one that's always on and one that's a switched accessory power. So to do this right, the manual actually shows that you can just stick these into an existing fuse. That's not really as safe as separately fusing the dash cam circuit to prevent the damage to your vehicle wiring. So I'd suggest a couple of these like Adhesive products where you plug this into your fuse that you want to tap into, and then you'll plug your a very small amp fuse. This one comes with a 5 amp, but really the dash cam's using milliamps. You'd get by with a 1 amp or smaller, but that would go in this top position in line with the wire, and the original fuse that you're tapping into would go in this bottom position. And then this obviously plugs into the fuse connector of the circuit that you're tapping into in the vehicle. So back to the device here. I'll see if I'll zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so again, on-off switch. On is only to support the B+ power when in parking mode. The accessory power will operate no matter what position this is in. This switch here is selecting if you want to control the parking, the always off power based on voltage or based on time. I have selected voltage, saying that if my vehicle battery drops below 12.4 volts to cut power to the dash cam. But you can also set it to time mode, and the different time modes are, it will operate for 12 hours after the vehicle loses power, is shut off in parking, 24 hours, 36, or 48 hours. So that's if you want to operate based on time, but for me, I think it's more accurate. All you're concerned about is your battery discharge on your vehicle, so might as well operate this in voltage mode, in my opinion. And I set it to the highest setting because I don't want to deep cycle my battery at all, so I set it to that 12.4 setting. And that's where these dip switches come in. This is the voltage or time setting. So for 12.4 operation, I need both of these dip switches down in the on position. Down is actually on this unit. The instructions are pretty good about explaining where these dip switches go. In the instructions, when you see white, that is the white switch up or down. It's somewhat counterintuitive, but they explain it well in the instructions. So this start key is interesting. So that would be if your vehicle battery, your car's parked for a long period of time, vehicle battery drops below that threshold, or it goes a long period of time based on timing and kills power to your dash cam as intended, right? And you want to manually start that back up, you can hold this button down for 2 seconds. It's going to, override the protection, providing power to your dash cam. But after 30 seconds, it's going to go back into that sensing mode. And if your vehicle's battery is below the set value that you set here, it's going to shut off again. So you just hold this down for 2 seconds to re-enable power to your dash cam if it's shut off for some reason. I think that covers everything on this. Actually, no. So on the back, this wiring kit supports 12 volt or 24 volt operation. 24 volt operation would be for maybe larger commercial vehicles, trucks, stuff like that. 12 volt is what most batteries are in passenger vehicles. So the default position is 12, and that's what I'm going to keep it in. They also include in the box adhesive here to adhere this under your dash somewhere inconspicuous, and also there is a little hole here that goes all the way through to this other side, and that's for an included zip tie or wire wrap, I guess is the right term for it. That goes through here, so if you need to zip tie this. So I believe that's it. This is the LUKAS LK-290. The full name of it is the LK-290-12 24 VT. But it's often referred to just as the LK-290. I wanted to do a video because it isn't very well explained. I had to dig around quite a bit to understand that actually both the accessory power and always on power need to be provided when you wire this thing up. And like I said, reason is this your dash cam will operate off of accessory power when it's available, and when it's not available, then it goes into the monitoring your voltage or time and operating off of this B+ wire. So you got to wire them both up. I recommend just using these Adhesive devices. You are going to need two because you need to use both your B+ and your accessory wire. And finally, the ground wire needs to be grounded to a ground screw somewhere in your vehicle. Hopefully that explains it. This plugs into your dash cam. There's an A version with a cigarette lighter connector for power, and a C version with dual cigarette lighter connections, PowerPoint connections. But I went with the B version, which is cleaner, plugs right into the dash cam. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.